Well, on Tuesday this week, we found out that Mark Sanford, former governor and former, what's the right word? Adulterer and former trespasser, was reelected and sent back to the United States Congress. Now, I guess that's not really breaking news anymore because it happened on Tuesday. But I want to talk about what Mark Sanford's return to Congress means for the American people, or better yet, for the Republican Party. Mark Sanford is the problem with the Republican Party and the problem with the conservative movement as a whole. And herein lies the problem. The conservative movement, and even I guarantee you, even if you go to Mark Sanford's website, right? If you go to Mark Sanford's website, you'll find the same. You'll find all these things to be the truth. They say one thing out of one side of their mouth, but they say it's basically a situation where they say, do what I say, but not what I do. And that is the problem. It's the problem because you can't sit here and tell me you believe in morals and values and blah, blah. But after all of that, you're the first one, you're the first one to vote for a man who's cheated on his wife, wasted, and not only, and I'm going to get to that in a second, cheated on his wife, then trespassed in her home, basically betrayed his children, and yet he has been sent back to Congress. And what makes matters even worse is America, is that he's also wasted government money. If you go to his website, he talks about shrinking the size of government. I'm reading it right from his website. You need to pay less. Too much debt. That's what he says on his website. I kid you not. But he took the government surplus of the state of South Carolina, got on his private jet, paid for by the people from South Carolina, and visited his mistress in Argentina, paid for by the people of South Carolina. And when he came back, he said, the Lord I've transformed my life. And that's good for you, Mark, but you have not paid back in retribution the people of South Carolina. You have a debt that you have not repaid. So how can you represent their best interest when you're part of the problem in Washington? You are part of the lying breed that makes up the Republican Party. They cheat on their wives. They lie to their children. They have mistresses. But yet it's wrong in their eyes for you to marry the one that you love. Even though, America, Mark Sanford left his wife for the one that he loves. He doesn't believe you should be able to marry the one that you love. Mark Sanford basically committed adultery on his wife. He could have exposed his wife to millions and millions of sexually transmitted diseases, his mistress could have had an accidental pregnancy. Yet, Mark Sanford does not support a woman's right to choose, nor does he support a woman having control over her body. Yes, America, the hypocrisy that makes up the Republican Party. Mark Sanford believes in rule of law. But he was the first one to break the law when he broke into his wife's house and trespassed. You see where I'm going with this? You see what the problem with the Republican Party is? They will speak out of both sides of their mouth, but they think it's perfectly okay to do so. Perfectly okay. Mark, I guess I could call you your rightful name, unfortunately. Representative Sanford, let me tell you something. You are scum of the earth. You are a maggot in the land. You are a maggot in the landfill someplace in a really, really dirty part of South Carolina. And that's what you represent, and that's who you are. Let's face the facts. You've cheated on your wife on the taxpayers' dollars. You then brought your mistress out to the American people and said, this is my mistress, get over it, and Lord has quote-unquote transformed my life. But if I remember correctly, if I remember the good book correctly, it says that you shouldn't really, it says what one man, what the Lord put it together, let no man put asunder. Is that not what it says, Mark? Is that not what it says? You're one that believes in no government spending. You need to cut government spending and cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. But you, in your time as governor, committed both waste, fraud, and abuse to the people of South Carolina. Yet they've sent you back to Congress. So I don't really blame you. I blame some of the voters in South Carolina who decided it was a good idea to send your ass back to Congress. I'm just saying. America, this is Republican hypocrisy at its finest. Republican hypocrisy at its finest.